Guys. Yep, I'm unmuted. That is so cool. This program mutes me, so if I can get some stuff done while that countdown's going. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. This has been quite a day. I wasn't sure if I was going to get everything done. I've been dog sitting my mom and dad's little dog, and he decided to eat something this morning. And I think what it was, we've got a little spot of our carpet down here in the basement that we want to replace it. But my office has that nice vinyl luxury vinyl plank flooring, something like that. Looks like wood, but it's just the vinyl. But he decides to pull on a little string we had on our carpet, and I think that's what he was choking on that. I was afraid I was going to take him to the vet, but everything worked out. Ah, I am trying to get all my cards made, so I'm just glad I'm here. So let's see who all is here. Looks like I've got some people here. Oh, hi, Christy. Yep, you made it, didn't you? From Indy, real close to me. And Becky, hi Becky, and thanks for sharing the video. Hi Kathleen. And let's see who else do I have here. Marlene and Anne. Oh, welcome back, Anne. Haven't seen you for a while. Glad you're here. And Marlene from Wisconsin. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, the way this works, I need to still play around with my new software, but with me having that stomach thing I had at the beginning, well, actually, I just got over it pretty much yesterday, but um, I had that. Plus, I was doing this social media training and they had challenges for us that ended yesterday. So things should get a lot easier for me around here. So I'll be able to play around with this new thing I'm using now for lives. So hopefully I can start doing pictures a little more in it, but I printed off some things and I'm okay with this working just fine. Let me go ahead and switch here so I can tell you about this real quick. Oh, hi, Michelle. Glad you're here. Don't want you to forget about the new DSP. I actually used one of them last week. That was that real pretty, what was it called? Delightful Florals DSP. And that goes perfect with that translucent bundle. Let's see, I think I missed some. Oh, hi, Marlene. Another Marlene and Wendy. Got a Marlene Grout and Marlene, and then, oh, it's not showing your whole name. Marlene N is here. Now, you don't hear of the name Marlene very often, but I've got two of you on here. Okay. Michelle, I missed the influencer training. Oh, did you? Yeah. How are you feeling? You were pretty sick last week yourself. You had COVID last week. How are you doing? Okay. I'll wait for her to come on because there is a delay, but I wanted to make sure you get that DSP. And it is while supplies last. So it could be around for a while. It could sell out real quick. You never know. But there are 5 new DSPs. There's also a card kit that's available too that just came out. Then we're going to do this right here. I'm going to tell you about this. This is the new paper pumpkin kit. You've got till October 10th to get this. Oh, hi, Donna. Glad to finally get connected. Oh, were you having trouble with your internet? Hopefully everything's going to go well here. I had that one little glitch last week, and I think it might be, I'm not sure. My computer updated, then Chrome updated, and I don't think things are driving real well. So if something goes off, at least I know how to get it back on real quick. But that's probably going to be the problem. Seems like when one thing updates, it messes up something else. So I'm hoping they all get on the same page. But here we've got this. Yeah, don't forget to get this. It looks like it's going to be a cute Christmas one. It comes with a bottle of glitter glue. So that's a little special thing that they've added to it. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. I do believe they're full-size cards this time. Yeah, I do believe that's what it is. I remember looking that up, and it's been a while since I looked at it. So I want to make sure you knew about those two things. And now let's go ahead and start doing the door prize. This was the door prize for everybody that watched live last week and commented, and everybody that watched the recording and commented. So I think I've got 40 names. I think it's more than I've had before. So I was pretty happy with that. So I'm going to switch to this guy here. And let me get that window up and let's see who wins. The winner is Becky Hall. I almost thought it was going to be Mary Fudge. You almost got it, Mary. So let me write Becky's name down. Switch cameras here. I think I can stop sharing that. There we go. I'm starting to get this. So congratulations, Becky. I'm glad you won that. I'm going to get your name on here so I don't forget. Put that over there. And now I'm going to show you the door prizes that are going on right now for this live. So everybody, oh, let me switch here. This is the pack of the iridescent pearl basic jewels. Um, I've got a stash of embellishments that are left over from past card classes at homes. So these are the what I get out to give you guys for door prizes. So I love these. You can keep them that pretty white because they've got that really neat iridescent. But anything that's white, you can use our Stampin' Blends and make them different colors. Let's see. Oh, hi. I can't remember if I told you. Hi, Anne. Oliver, I'm glad you're here. And Jeanne, I'm glad you're here. Have to look back up here. I'm still learning this. There we go. Everybody's on the same screen, but I thought I missed somebody. I think I got everybody. So this is for everybody that comments during the live. I will put your name in that wheel and then I'll come back like about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. It actually goes faster now since I've got all the comments on one screen. It's a lot easier to get it in that wheel. I was having to go back and forth between YouTube and Facebook before. So probably it's more like a half an hour to 45 minutes after the live is over, but definitely within the hour. I will come back and put a post in Facebook and a post in my communities tab, letting you know who the winner is of these. So everybody that comments tonight that lives in the United States, because this is product, and it also with postage, I can only afford to mail it here in the U.S. So anybody in the U.S. can play along. Now, if you live outside of the U.S., I still love to hear from you. Let me know where you're from. It is just so cool to see where everybody is from. When you tell me that, it's neat just to see how the internet brings us all together. I had a few people from different countries last week. I think I had somebody from the Philippines and Australia. It's really cool to see those. Now, these are, I can't remember, the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. It's a little hard to see. There's some Misty Moonlight ones here, Fresh Freesia, and I can't remember the color of this one, but it's one of the greens. But these are this is in the annual catalog. So everybody that comments during the live and comments when they watch the replay or the recording will get put in the drawing, and I will announce the winner like I just did a minute ago here on next week's live. So the pearls are for everybody watching the live, and these are for everybody that watches the live and the recording. I want to make sure the people that watch the replay also get a chance to get a door prize. Okay, I think I can show you the card kits. I want to tell you how this works. If you you can actually see it there in the ticker too. To get the card kits free, to make 2 each of the cards, or 3 cards all together, when you get and you'll get enough to make 2 each. If you place a $35 order before shipping and tax using that host code that you're going to see, it's actually up in the top right corner. Yes, I was afraid I didn't change that, but it also shows in the ticker. If you use that host code, then with a $35 order, then you will get these card kits for free. If you bump it up to a $50 order before shipping and tax, I will add the Adhesive-Backed Speckled Dots. These are brand new, and you're going to see all of them. These are copper clay up here. They're kind of hidden, but you'll see my pack here in a minute because I'm going to be using those on the card. Oh, hi, Polly from North Carolina. Glad you're here. And hi, Nana. I'm glad you're here. And so that's how that goes. So if you forget how to get the card kits, just look at that little ticker there at the bottom. And if you're watching on YouTube, there is a link down below that says current card class at home. Click on that. That'll give you all the information. It'll even give you a link to my online store that'll add the host code on for you. But make sure if it's a $150 order before shipping and tax, do not use that host code. That way you'll still get my card kits and the embellishments, but you'll also get Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. So I don't want you to miss out on your free stuff from Stampin' Up. But if it is under 150, make sure you use that host code, because you need to use the host code for me to be able to give these to you for free. Okay, let's get going on making some cards. So this is my first pack. Now this one, you know what? I want to show you the first card I made with this. For those of you that follow me on Facebook, you've already seen this. That is this floral image all colored in with Stampin' Blends. And if you want this tutorial, a lot of you probably already have it, because I think I sent out over 200. I couldn't believe how many people wanted that tutorial. Sent those out. If you're watching on Facebook and did not get this tutorial, but you want it, just comment, I want the tutorial there in the comments, and then I'll come back when the video's over, probably tomorrow morning, and I'll message you the tutorial. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, click that contact me link below in the video description and just say you want it, and then I will send it to you through your email. Because when you hit that contact me, I get your email address. So I'll just reply back and give you the tutorial. Okay. But this one I just love. And this is even using the same All About Autumn DSP that I'm using on all 3 cards. But this is a barn door. Not barn door, Dutch door. I've seen it called a barn door, but it really isn't a barn door. It is definitely a Dutch door. Because you know how Dutch doors have the top and the bottom that you can open. So this is the the top or the bottom part of it here with this. Oh, I sure will, Wendy. I'll send you that in the morning, okay? So there is the card. So I'll come back definitely in the morning and send those out to you. And you do not have to live in the United States for the tutorial. You can live anywhere in the world. I can send you that tutorial. That's something I can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that over to the side. Now this time I wanted to show you a different way. I saw, you can definitely color in that beautiful image, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you a trick. If you just want to whip out a card real quick and don't want it to color it in, this is another way you can do it. Okay, let me show you. I always forget. I always want to start making the cards. I forget to show you the bundle. This is the Fruitful Blessings bundle. This is in the September to December mini catalog. And we're even going to be making having some corn on the second card. I thought, oh, we've got to do that. So, and this is neat. I'm doing it a basic way, but you could do it. I'll just tell you about that in the second card. I get ahead of myself. But there's that gorgeous bundle. These here, the ones that are open, die cut the images here like that. That does corn cob for you. That's a leaf. You're going to actually see all of these special ones in action. I'm actually using just about all of these dies except for the pear because I ended up not putting the pear on any of the cards. Since I'm only making 3, I ran out of cards to put the pears on. Okay, now this was done with, let's see if I get that a little closer. There you go. That is the fall leaf. Oh, hi, Melissa. I'm glad you're here. I don't think you've been able to be on for a couple of weeks. I'm glad you're here. So there is that. That's the fall. There we go. Leaf fall. I always want to say fall before the leaf. It's leaf fall 3D embossing folder. And it's a 6x6. You can see how some of it doesn't have any leaves. So if you look at this, you can see how some of that does not have any leaves. But it just looks so cool. I love this one. Get closer. There we go. So that is already going to be embossed for you because that's one thing I forgot to tell you. In the card kits, I do all the embossing and the die cutting of things that are not stamped. Now, if it's stamped, you'll have to either have the die set or fussy cut it. You can substitute with another stamp set if you don't have this one, but that's how it works. Oh, hi, Christy. Oh, yes. I love this one too. I almost forgot we had this because we've had it a couple years, I think. I'm like, oh, I got to get that out. Okay, so this is going to be a monochromatic card. If you don't know what that is, that's just something that has like a neutral, which would be my very vanilla, and just one other color. And I'm just using Moody Mauve on this. So I'm going to let me see if I can grab this. Try to keep things out of the way so I can move and then I can't reach them. Okay, I'm going to be using this piece of very vanilla, which is 2 3/4 by 3.5. Grab this big floral image, my Moody Mauve. Just ink this up. Now you could, well, here, let me just stamp it first. I'm going to be die cutting it, so it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure it's on the cardstock. So there we go. And I've got a little bitty mark on there, but I don't have to worry about that because it's going to be die cut. Now, this looks pretty if it is just stamped like that. But I want to add just a little bit of color. So a quick way to do it, and to just keep them just the Moody Mauve, since I wanted to make a monochromatic card, I'm going to use my blender pen. And since this is water-based ink, it will bleed when you get it too wet. So this time I really do want it to get too wet. So I'm going to kind of do the center here and kind of go out just a little bit. I just want that center part to be a little darker. Okay, so it's picking up that ink. You see that? See how it's getting a little darker there? I'm going to do that with all of these real quick. You go out as far as you want. If you want to color in the whole flower, you definitely can. I'm just going to do the centers. I got a little one down here. I'm not going to do anything with the leaves. I thought I just wanted oh, actually, the big one I did. I forgot I did do a little bit more on the big. But these little leaves, I'm not going to worry about those. I'm just going to leave them the way they are. This big one here, I'm going to just keep going over it until it starts to bleed. This one I might go out a little more. Can you see that? Let me bring it up a little high. I think I need to work on that camera to get it closer, but I can't do it right now. I'll do that next time. But see how it's just adding just a little bit of color. It's actually adding a little more than what the video is showing. And then this one, I'm just going to do the center. I did the petals a little bit on this one, and I didn't really like the look. So I'm just going to do the center on this one. So there is that. Oh yeah, you can see that a little bit. How it's got a little color on there too. So I could actually do a whole leaf flower if I wanted to, but I decided just to do this. Kind of maybe go a little bit more, make it a little lighter. And this, just because it's such a big leaf, I'm just going along the center here and kind of darken it up a little bit. There we go. So that's just a quick way that you can color in the flower just a little bit. Or like I said, you can just leave it stamped with that color. It looks good. And put this to the side. I'm going to grab this little piece. This is a 3 by 3 by 3/4 inch piece of Very Vanilla. Yeah, this time I'm using Very Vanilla because that's the neutral that's used in the All About Autumn DSP. And then I'll get this one. This one says Grateful for You. I'm going to stamp it pretty much in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I'm going to take my paper snips and do what I do a lot. Just kind of cut that little off so I have a little bit of an angle. And I'll put that to the side. And I'm going to stamp. This is going to be a landscape card. I'm actually doing 2 landscape cards this time. And this time I'm not going to use blender pens. If you make this card, you definitely can. I'm just going to do a little partial. There we go. So there's the inside. So that kind of shows you the difference. If you just like it stamped with just the Moody Mauve, that's what it looks like. And there it is when you add a little bit more color to it. And like I said, I might even color. I think I am going to do that. The centers on these look good. I think this is going to look better if I color a little bit more on that big one. So I'm just going to add a little bit more here. But I don't have to worry about adding ink to the blender pen because it's just picking up the ink and making it bleed from the stamped image. So there, that gives that big one a little bit more color. And then the reason I do this here, I'm cleaning it off to make sure all the Moody Mauve is off of there. So next time I do it, I don't want any color in that. Okay, so that's just a little trick. Now I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. Oh. And then I'm only going to be die cutting that flower out. I couldn't reach my dies there for a second. Make sure I'm in the screen. Yeah. Get that centered. Didn't know if I had the right plate on, but I do. Get my microphone out of the way here. Need the microphone so you can hear me, but it gets in the way a lot. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to use 2 pieces of my Post-it tape. If you don't have Post-it tape, you can use the adhesive part of a Post-it note. Washi tape works, but especially with the Very Vanilla, there were a lot of times when I used washi tape, it would tear up the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And there we go. So we've got that pretty flower there. And I do believe that's all and I did die cut this out already. This one here was die cut out of a piece that was 1 3/4 by 2 inch piece of Moody Mauve. And I did it out of this one. So I like all the detail with that. It's a neat one. Okay. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you like the blender pen thing. That's just another little way to color your flowers. Okay, get this out of the way. That's the only thing I need to die cut on this card. Here's my Moody Mauve card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Get those corners lined up. There we go. And I kind of liked having the leads more up here on the top right. Let me get that closer again. So this plain corner is going to be on the bottom left. This is a piece of the All About Autumn DSP. It's got fall leaves and trees and stuff on one side. And then it's got some, I think it's copper. Yeah, that's copper. Foil images on the other. So this is the Moody Mauve. So I'm going to put some adhesive on this. There we go. And I'm going to put it, line the right edge of the DSP with the right edge of the Very Vanilla. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Now it is shorter, but I'm okay with that because this is going to go on like so. So that's why I didn't want to waste it with it being a 6x6 piece. It's a lot easier to do it with a 4-inch. I can get more out of that one piece. So we've got that ready to go. Let me go ahead and put this on the card because I'm not going to put any ribbon on this one. The next 2 cards will have some ribbon. Well, one will have ribbon, one will have our linen thread. Linen thread looks so good on, fall cards. There we go. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you the size of this one. This is a 5 by 3 3/4. So it's a little smaller than what I normally do for a base, but I wanted to have a wider Moody Mauve border on that. I'm going to put dimensionals on here. Gotta have dimensionals. And I'm going to put them more in the middle. So I'm going to tuck a couple things. That should be good enough under it. You know what? I think I'm going to put one down here too, because I just looked at my original and it's kind of coming up a little bit right there. So I would do 4 just like I did. I'm going to put this at an angle like so. I want it to go off the edge of the vanilla, but you don't want it to go off the edge of the card base. That way it'll go in the envelope. I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to grab my silicone craft mat. And I kind of like having the top 3 leaves a little loose, so I'm only going to put glue. Well, this one's getting, I have to get my other one out. I think this one's finally starting to empty out on me. I've had this one here for quite a while. Yeah, it's definitely getting out. Let me grab my other one. Always bring backups just in case that happens. There we go. Ooh, that one came out a little too much. That's the thing I like about my silicone mat. That definitely came out too much on this one. I'm going to turn this over and kind of tap some of that glue off so it's not so thick because I don't want it oozing out. When that dries, I can just peel it right off. So I'm going to tuck this under here like so. There we go. And hold it down for a few seconds. But I kind of like this being loose because it kind of looks like it's just angled a little bit more. Let me find my little greet. Oh, there it is. I was afraid I lost my greeting. Put some adhesive on here. And this little end here that doesn't have anything, I'm going to put it underneath the flower just a little bit. Actually, I think I want it a little higher. There we go. So there's the card front. Let's grab this. This is also a 5-inch by 3 3/4-inch piece. I want it to be look the same as the outside, except it's not going to be embossed because we want to be able to write on the inside. Put this right in here. There we go. And now we got to put that neat bling on it. Now this is going to make us, you can see all the colors. These are the Adhesive-Backed Speckled Dots. These were actually not available. They're supposed to come in next week. They actually came in today. So I'm going to hurry up and place my order so I can get a couple more because I've got like 4 of them. I want to get a few more for some orders. So here's that. So this is what you would get for free, except of course yours will be a full pack if you place that $50 order using the code. I'm going to grab a large. So these are, let me let you know the colors. This is Copper Clay, Crumb Cake, Moody Mauve, and Mossy Meadow. There, I like getting close up so you can really see. I don't know if you can see the speckles, but they've got really neat speckles in them. I think these are really cool. So I'm going to grab a large, oops, we're going to get some putty out of here because it's not coming out very well. There we go. I'm going to put a large one right here. of the Moody Mauve, by the way. I want to stay with that monochromatic look. Put one right here. And then I'm going to grab another large one. And I'm going to put it here on the DSP. So there we go. So there is the first card. Real quick and easy. Oh, thanks, Marlene. I'm glad you like it. Tired of working on Christmas cards, but my lack of range of motion didn't let me do much. Oh, hate to hear that, Melissa. You must be hurting. There we go. So there's the card. So you're getting a little break from some Christmas cards. They're fun to make, but when you start making a bunch of them, you do need a little break from them, even though you love them. Okay, I'll put this over here. Now I'm going to grab this one. This one is going to be more fall colors. A little brighter fall colors, actually. We've got the Mossy Meadow card base. I'll go ahead and fold that. That's a regular 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece. Oh, you had a mastectomy. No wonder you haven't been on live. Oh, you poor thing. I hope you get better soon. That wasn't any fun, was it? Hope you get the rest you need. No wonder you had trouble moving around. I'm surprised you're able to make cards at all. Hi, Carmel. Love the mauve card. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, so I've got the card base right here. Once again, I used that fall or leaf fall. I wish they called it fall leaf. It makes more sense to me. But leaf fall, I guess it's because they look like leaves that are falling. That's probably why they called it leaf fall. But we've got this one again. And I decided I wanted to have the bare space to be up here on the top right. Here is the piece. I'm going to use a side that has leaves on it. Isn't that pretty with all the different trees on it? But this is a 1.5 by 5.25. They've even got a little bit of purple in it. Really cool. And then this is the other side. It's got some mossy meadow with the copper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you like that card. I'm going to put this right. Really, it's hard to tell with the trees. I think it's coming straight down on them, so it really doesn't matter. Just see which way you like better. For some reason, I like that better, so let's just do that. I want to have a little bit of the crumb cake showing. And by the way, this is a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of the crushed curry. And I can't remember if I told you the DSP, it's 1.5 by 5.25. I can go ahead and put this on the card base. And make sure that fold is on the left. I don't know about you, but I have put it on upside down before. Oh, do you feel guilty not using the foil side? I know it is really pretty, isn't it? I'm glad we've got 4 sheets so we can use it, go back and forth. Donna. Aren't those colors really pretty, Donna? I love them. They are so cool. Okay, now when you get the kits, I put all the little pieces, all the corn and everything in this little bag so they don't get lost. That last card just had the leaves, so those won't get lost. But all these little ones I was afraid would. I'm going to bring in my little dish here. When you get this, some of the little pieces aren't going to all be out because I don't have time to take them all out for you, but it's really easy. I'm just taking my thumbnail and putting a finger behind it. See how fast these are falling out? I don't even have to get my take your pick tool out. There we go. So it doesn't take long at all. So I'm going to grab that other one because I'm sure it's got some in it. Because when you put your finger under here and your thumbnail up here, it kind of curls the paper just a little bit. And I think that's how it makes all those little pieces come out. So there we go. And it cuts really good. Now I'm going to show you a little trick if I can find my silicone mat. Oh, there it is. I have a sponge dauber. Where did it? Oh, there it is. That I only use with glue. I'm going to grab some of my multi-purpose glue. I'm going to put some here in the corner. Now you could use our adhesive sheets. That's when you cut a piece of cardstock and adhesive sheet the same size, stick them together, and then run it through your die cutting machine. And then you're kind of making a sticker. And then you can remove the paper backing off the other side and stick it on. Well, if you don't want to do that, I'm going to take this, turn it over. I'm going to pick up a little bit of glue out of here. And I have had this thing for quite a while and keep using it over and over again. It's tacky, but it still works every time I go back to do it. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue off because I don't want it too thick. But this is making it so I can put glue all over this. There we go. It's almost like making it a sticker this way. Then I'm going to grab this little yellow piece. It's crushed curry. And I'm going to put it right here. Oh, and one thing I was getting ready to tell you, if you wanted to die cut this out of vanilla, you could, and make it like Indian corn. You can kind of play around with it with different colors with your blender pen, and just put different colors all over it and then die cut it. That's actually probably the better way to do it. And then you'll have different colored kernels. I'll have to play around with that and I'm going to tell you. So there is my one corn. Let's go ahead and do this again. I'm going to pick some more up, take a little bit off. And I'm putting it in a different spot. There's a little bit of wet glue up here. I don't want that on the front of my corn. So I'm kind of moving this over. Hopefully you can see I'm getting glue all over this. And pick up a little more. When I go to pick up more, I take it off the part of the glue that I took off a minute ago because that's not as thick as this one here. And then I can grab this one. Get it lined up. And the other reason I kind of like doing the doing the glue instead of our adhesive sheets on this one to line this up. The glue has a little give to it, so you can kind of move it just a little bit. If you use our adhesive sheets, you really can't move it that much. You can lift it up, but it's a little easier to use the glue. Oh, thanks, Don. I'm glad you think. Oh, I'm sorry, Becky. I looked at the wrong name. I'm glad you think these are cute. Now we're going to finish these off. We got to put little husks. So, like I've said before, this will dry clear. Once it's clear, you know it's dry. Peels right off. You throw it away, and your silicone mat's all ready to go. So this is something Stampin' Up sells. So you can go to my online store and find that. On YouTube, my online store link is down below in the video description. Facebook, since they don't like us to put links in our posts, you can find my website, createwithchristy.com. There's a link to that in the intro section. You can click on that, or you can click the learn more, and that'll take you to my site also. And then click shop, and that'll take you to the online store. Okay. Oh, hi, Jamie. Oh, that's okay. You've only missed this is the second card. You haven't missed much, and you can always watch the first card later after the live's over. Candy. Oh, and Candy's in like too. You guys are just fine. I'm surprised I got here on time. So problem is, though, I need to be here on time. The video can't go without me. Oh, these are cool. There's a die that makes the husk. Here, let me show you this one. I've always shown you the corn. So those are the two dies that did the corn. Okay. And then this is the one that does like the husk you can put on the top. So it does the embossing as you cut it. Let me get that closer. Oh, there we go. I have to get it at a certain angle sometimes for the video to show the embossing part. I'm going to put just a little bit, just one little line of glue here on top. That's it. And then I'm going to put this right on top of the husk. Hold it down for a few seconds so it takes hold. And now we've got our little corn made. Isn't that cool? These are so cute. Okay, now I'm going to put, that's why I'm like, when I got this, I thought, okay, I got to make a card with the corn. It's going to make me have to die cut a little bit more, but it's not that hard. For the card kits, that is. Hold this down for a few seconds. You always want to hold down for a few seconds so that glue will take hold. Okay, there we go. So those are all ready to go. I can get this out of the way. You know what? No, I can't. I'm going to leave that out. This circle was done once again with the deckled circles. I still don't, I don't think, these are still not available, I'm pretty sure. But I use the number 5 die whenever for those of you who haven't watched me before, number 1, I always have be the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was the circle I used. I love all those circles. There's just so many of them. So I will let you know if you are getting my newsletter. I let you know when things come back in stock. So if you haven't signed up to be on my newsletter, you can do that on YouTube. Links in the video description. If you go to my website there on Facebook, you can go click that learn more, go to my site, and you can find the sign up for the newsletter. I think it's on the bottom. Yeah, it's on the bottom of the home screen. You scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll find it. Actually, when you go on there, a pop-up comes up and you can sign up for my newsletter that way too. I forgot about that. That's actually easier. So here's that circle. It was I've used a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of the Very Vanilla for that. There we go. We've got the wishing you many blessings. I'm only on the second card and I'm losing things already. So it sound like I don't know what stop for a second because I'm trying to find something. I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze. It ended up being, for each card, I only used one ink pad. With this one, the only stamping is going to be this greeting and a little bit on the inside. So this is just done with the one ink pad. I'm going to put this kind of towards the right near the bottom of the circle. There we go. So we've got that going across the bottom. And now I'm going to start putting some things together here. Let's grab this. And I'm going to put this, I was going to do it right in the center, but I think it's a little better if you go to the center and then kind of come down a little bit, because the corn is a little bit long. It just didn't quite look right when I put it right smack dab in the middle. And I'm kind of putting it over to the right a little bit too. So here's the center, go to the right just a teeny bit and go down just a little bit. And I'm not going to push it down real hard in case I need to move it. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my corn in. Take that back. I'm going to bring this leaf thing in. Grab the large one. Where to put my glue? There we go. I'm going to put some glue on here. There we go. I thought I picked up the one that was empty. Who knows? This one might be getting empty on me too. Okay, I'm not putting on a lot, but that should be plenty. And I kind of like this angled here on the top, like so. So hold that down for a few seconds. There we go. Now I'm going to bring in my corn. I'm just going to put some seal on here. You could use the glue also. I'm going to angle this one kind of like this, covering up the leaves just a little bit because they're kind of in the background. And then I'm going to take this one, and this one I want on with dimensionals. So I'm going to turn that over. And I'm going to put one right here where the husk and the corn cob meets, just to make sure that that's on real good. Then I'm going to take your pick tool, and I always put this in at an angle. I didn't used to, and it didn't work as well. If I put it in at an angle, these come off super easy. I'm so glad I finally figured that out because there are times I couldn't get it to work. And I'm going to angle this one like this. I kind of want a little bit of the cob to show down here. Angle it, but I don't want the husk up here to go off the edge of the card base. Oh yeah, and I need to look at my blessings too. I don't want to cover that up. We want to see that whole greeting. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so now we've got our corn on there. I've got these little leaves. I'm going to take the one that's got the 3 leaves. Let me get that all closer. So this was done. There are 2 little leaf dies in the die set. Oops, went up a little too high. There we go. So you can see one has got 2 leaves and one's got 3. I'm going to grab the one with the 3. Just put a little bit of glue on each leaf. I'm not going to worry about the stem. You could also do the little trick I did with the sponge dauber and the glue if you want to do it that way too. This one is going to go underneath this corn cob just a little bit. Now put it there, hold that down for a few seconds. Put a little bit here. Come on, there we go. And we have these overlap just a little bit. There. So now we've got some leaves under there. And I thought the corn looked a little plain. I like it, but I grabbed a piece. This is a 16-inch piece of the linen thread. I'm going to fold it in half. Grab my scissors here. And where that little loop is, I think it's easier to make it the big 16 inches long Then cut this. That way they are all together. You don't have to take two 8-inch pieces and try to stick them together. These are already right next to each other. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start on the left end. Oh, hi, Carla. Oh, thanks. I like the layering's really cool on this. I like it too. Turned out pretty good. Thanks, Becky. I'm glad you're liking it. Okay, so I'm going to take this bow. You know, I'm going to make that loop a little bit bigger. I've got a little glue on my fingers. So let's see if this works. Oh, that works fine. You always want to start on one end. So if you're left-handed, you would probably, I'm guessing you probably want to start tying your bow on the right end. There we go. Because I end up doing most of the wrapping on the part that's on this side. So that's why you need it longer. So now I've got nice little double bow. I'm going to grab my glue dots. I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of the knot in the bow. Now there is a little bit of the glue dot showing, so I'm going to kind of squeeze that glue dot so it gets thin, because it will kind of stick together, so it makes it a smaller glue dot. And I'm going to put it here on the top of the top corn. I thought about putting one over here, but you really can't see it once you put this bow on. And I kind of like having the longer tail, so I'm not going to trim that. My first one was a little longer than the other, so I did trim it, but those are real close. So I think I'm just going to leave them just the way they are. But I thought that little bow just really made the corn look even neater. Oh, thanks, Marva. I'm glad you're liking it. Thanks, Jenny. Glad you guys are liking this. For those of you that watched me a million times, you know I love fall projects. So I just love making fall stuff. I think it's just because I love fall colors so much. Okay, now I'm going to grab the inside. This is a 4x5¼ piece. Get this and my grid paper. And I'm going to get this little stamp right here and make a little border along the bottom. So I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze again. So this is the only ink pad I'm using on this card. And I'm going to put it right along the bottom. Put them kind of close together. I'm going to put a little bit right there because there was too much space right there. So there, now I've got a nice little border from the inside of my card. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you're liking it. And Betty, I can't remember if I said thanks to you. I get to working and forget who I said thanks to. Okay, now I'm going to put this on. Oh, thanks, Marlene and Wendy. Oh, did my video end suddenly? Uh-oh. Is there anybody else saying it's ended? I'm still showing that I'm on. Let's see here. Go look at my Facebook. Oh, that looks weird. That's back when I was die. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's showing up on my end. Is everybody else seeing it okay? Okay, Jenny, it might be your internet, Wendy, because it looks like it's working for everybody else. Sometimes if you're watching on your phone or tablet or laptop, sometimes you have to close the window and then open it back up again, because my tablet will do that. So hopefully that'll get it working for you. Good, it's working on YouTube. Thanks, Christy. Thanks for letting me know, guys. But Wendy, yeah, do let me know if that ever happens, because it could be my end. I think this time it might be your either your internet or that is gone. Let me grab my other one. Either your internet or your computer might be needing to reboot or something. Okay, or phone. It is funny how laptops and phones and everything, if it doesn't work, everybody jokes around, say turn it off, turn it back on again, and that actually helps. It's funny how that works. It doesn't work every single time, but it works pretty good. So I'm going to put this right on the inside, like so. There we go. And I almost forgot to put bling on here. We got to put these guys on. This time I decided you could use Mossy. I went back and forth between the Mossy Meadow and the crumb cake, but I decided to use the crumb cake. So I thought that might be a little too much green since we've already got the leaves. The only crumb cake that's on this card are the 2 husks on the top. Oh, thanks, Carmel. I'm glad you like it. Okay, where did I put my take your pick tool? There it is. So I'm going to put one large one. Oops, I'm got too much petty out on this. It's funny. If you have ever take your pick tool, it keeps coming out after you put some on. I barely turned it. There wasn't much showing last time, and then it got to be too long. It's funny how it just keeps coming out. So I've got a large crumb cake one here. I'm going to grab a small one, put it right here, and another small one, and I'm going to put it about right here. So I'm kind of going around the greeting a little bit. So there is the second card. I'm glad you guys are liking that. Some of you have already told me you like it. I'm glad you are. So there's the second card. Now it's time for the last one. This one is kind of a fun fold. Actually, I think I might have done this layout on a card 3 or 4 weeks ago. I know it hasn't been a couple weeks ago because I double checked. I know I did it on some video. I can't remember if it was a card class at home. That just worked out really good with this. Oh, thanks, Christy. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, now this one is using copper clay. Now this card base, it's 4 1/4, but this is 9 3/4. So I took off 1 1/4 off of this end here because it needs to be a little shorter because I want to show the DSP from the inside of the card on the outside. That'll make sense here in just a minute. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my trimmer. I want to make sure I get my cutting blade out of the way. I want to use my scoring one. I'll line this up at 5 1/2 inches because I don't want to fold it in half anymore because I want the front to be shorter than the back. So now I can do this. Now you can see the front is smaller than this. Okay. Now let's see, what do I want to do next? Let me grab. I actually already stamped these. I'm going to go ahead and do some coloring here. So let me sit down. I didn't want you to sit and watch me color for a long time. Oh, I love copper clay too. Let me show you. You can't wait to order the speckled dots. They are in stock. They just got in stock today. I'm not sure if you were on, Jamie, when I said that. So those are in stock. Now, if you get my card kits and place that $50 order, you'll get a pack for free with the card kits. So I went ahead and stamped these. So this is with this one here with the 2 acorns. I did 1 acorn and I did 2 of this one right here. I did it ahead of time. You know how to stamp. This is with the Tuxedo Black Memento. Let's see. Oh, I love acorns too, Christy. I think they're really cool. Okay. I make sure I'm not missing it. I think I got everybody's. Yeah. A lot of you are saying you love copper clay. I do too. It is really pretty. And some people, you would think, oh, that's kind of close to Cajun Craze, but it isn't at all. Let me grab the card here. See the difference? Well, I guess you could pair them together for sure. The video is not showing it. It's actually a lot darker. It's a little hard to tell probably in the video. It is a lot darker than the copper clay. This is more of a muted color. And it definitely looks more like copper. It's not shiny, but it's definitely got the copper color. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring these. I'm using blends. I wanted to show you how I colored them, but I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me color everything. So I'm going to color 1 acorn. So that's going to be the same as how I colored these. Is how I'm going to do that one. I've left 1 leaf, and then one of these I did one of them. So I'm going to take my dark Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to go along. I wish I could make this. Hopefully you can see this. I know you can on the laptop, but it's hard for me to tell how small it is. But I'm going to go along here. That's me needing to look at my software, the new software, and see if there's a way I can zoom in. I'm sure there is. I'll figure that out next time so I can zoom in a little bit for you next time. But I will bring it up to the screen, up to my camera, so you can see a little better. So there were lines. So what I did, I went along the center, and then I took the dark Mossy Meadow and put it on some of the lines. Well, actually, just about all of them. And you don't have to see how zigzaggy it looks. With leaves, you don't want it to look, too uniform. That's why you kind of want it zigzaggy. I love Cajun Craze too, Betty. I like both of them. Now I'm going to take my light Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to go over the whole leaf. I'm going to color over the dark also because that's how they blend. I'm going to do it so I don't do too much blending so you see the difference. Actually, you'll be able to see the difference just by looking at the 2 leaves. Here, let me go ahead and get this done. I love our blending, our not blend, our Stampin' Blends. And one thing if you notice, as soon as I got done with the dark, I closed it up. I don't leave these even laying on while I'm working. I don't leave these open. As soon as I'm done with the color, I close it up and put it down. With that alcohol ink, that is one thing with alcohol ink, it does dry faster than water-based. So that's why I always make sure I put those lids on as soon as I'm done using it. Now I'll put this a little closer. You see how these look the shading looks a little more blended. And then on this one, you can really see the dark mossy meadow in the middle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go over that dark again with the light mossy meadow. You just keep going over it until it looks blended. That's the neat thing with the alcohol. That's why it needs to be the alcohol ink, because it kind of dilutes the dark a little bit and then it gets to be more blended. So once that dries, you'll be able to see a little darker in there and the lighter ends. So that is how I did both leaves, or all the leaves. There's actually 2 leaves on this one. Make sure those are closed. I'm grabbing my wild wheat. That's what I did with this one. So I'm going to grab my dark one. And these centers here, well, actually there are lines that go all the way up, but I think it looks better with these thinner leaves to just do the dark down here at the base of the leaves. I'm going to go over it a few times because I found out with some of these colors, the shades are really close together. So with this dark one, I want to go over it a few times to get that wild wheat really dark down here. It's another new in color that I like. It's one that I wasn't sure if I was going to like, but I use it a lot and it looks really good. It's actually not one of the colors in the All About You DSP or All About Autumn DSP, but I think it still looks really good with it. Okay, so now I've got the dark on the bottom. Get that closed, grab my light. And now I'm going to color the whole leaf going over the dark so they blend together. And then if you ever put the light on and then the dark is just not dark enough, just go back and add more dark where you want it. You just keep adding color until you've got it the way you like it. Sometimes you can't do that with markers, especially the water-based ones, because sometimes the paper starts to get messed up because it's a wet ink. With this being alcohol and it dries so fast, it does not mess up your cardstock. Get that closed. So now I've got those. You can see how there's a little dark on the bottom and the ends are a little lighter. Now I'm going to use I've used crumb cake. Actually, let me grab this one. This one I used the crumb cake on this one. I used the dark crumb cake on top and the lighter crumb cake down here at the bottom. But you notice I've got some darker crumb cake, like a medium crumb cake on there. It's like 2 shades here on the bottom. Let me show you how to do that. You can do that with just one of the markers. I'm going to take this. So these are the bronze and ivory Stampin' Blends. They come together as a pack. I'm going to take the bronze and I'm going to color the top of the acorn like so. And the trick with these, especially if you're using the brush tip, use a light touch so you don't fray that tip. And then I'm going to use the ivory and color the bottom here. And I kind of wanted a little bit of a two-tone effect on the top too. So now that that's dried a little bit, I'm going to go over and just kind of make little dots. It just makes it have a little bit of a texture to it. There's no rhyme or reason, just kind of add a little bit more. I have to admit that doesn't show up as much. Well, I take that back. I can see it a little bit darker down here. Now, you see where those lines are in that acorn? I want to darken those up a little bit. So I'm going to take my ivory again, and I'm going to go over this a lot just to make that darker. I'm doing brush strokes. I'm not scribbling up and down. I'm going start at the top and going down and lifting it up a little bit. But just those little areas, that's what I'm going over a couple times. You probably can't see it in the video. Well, maybe I think you can. You can see how there's some spots are a little lighter and then some that are darker. So you just keep layering on the color to make it just a little bit darker. So that's how I colored those in. I'm going to need the die cutting machine here in a minute. I think, let's see. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then we can finish making the card. Bring this in. Sometimes I have to think it through to make sure I'm doing it right. So get this ready for die cutting. Bring this in. Get all the dies here. I need this one for here. I love dies. This one would be, I think, way too hard to fussy cut. Some people love to fussy cut. I don't mind fussy cutting, but if it's real intricate, I don't do it very often. So I'm glad there are dies for this. Now there are actually two acorns, which I was going to use two acorns, but ended up being too much for the way I started making the card. But I love that we have the option to be able to die cut two at the same time, because a lot of times you do want to pair up two acorns. Line this up. Make sure when you line this up that you see the stem up here. That way you know you've got it centered just right. Put that across here. Now there is only one of these, so I'll have to run this through one more time. But it definitely needed to. I tried to get by with just one. It just didn't look right. And I'm looking at this V down here at the bottom. I'm making sure those two lines on these two bottom leaves, those are the stems of the leaves, are right along the edge of that opening. That means it's lined up too. I'm going to use two. That's a little longer. Put my other cutting plate on top. Oh, thanks, Christy. I'm glad you're liking it. I love to color with blends. I color with a lot of things, but blends are my favorite. So there's that acorn. Put that in my little dish. Then we've got this. You can see the detail in that, the different shading on that one. See, actually, once it dries, it actually shows the blending a little more. Sometimes you're like, oh, I might have put too much on there, blended it too much. But then once it dries, it kind of lightens up in places, and then you can see the shading again. So sometimes if you think you're like, oh, I need to add more, let it dry for about a minute or so, and it does lighten up a little bit, and then it might look exactly the way you want it to. So there's that one. We'll run this through one more time to get this one. There we go. I want to make sure that V down here is good, and it is. Put this on top. Oh, there we go. And then we've got that one. So that is all the die cutting. So I'm going to get this out of the way. The dies in there so I don't lose them. Now let's bring this in. I showed you how to do this a minute ago. If you came in late, you'll want to watch this because it's done a little bit different than a regular card. This is a piece of crumb cake that's 4x4, and I die cut it with that Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. I have used this quite a bit, and it just came out last month, or actually this month. It came out. I was able to get it last month. As a demonstrator, we get to get things a month early. One of the many perks I love. There we go. So I love how part of it is that's the distressed look. It's kind of faded. It's pretty cool, but it looks good without doing anything to it. But I decided to do something to show the texture just a little bit. So I'm going to bring in some paper here. Use my crumb cake ink pad. And this is the only ink pad. Well, except I forgot that I did use the Memento. So I guess I did use two on this one. I'm going to grab a blending brush. Starting from the outside here, I'm going to come up here. I'm not doing it real hard. But this is going to put ink on the, on the textured part a little more. Actually, I'm doing it a little harder because I think my ink pad's getting dry on me. I forgot I was going to ink this up. I don't know if you can tell. Well, I'll bring it closer to you here in a minute. But the texture is showing up a lot more because I'm adding ink to it. It was just not showing up as well as I wanted it to with my acorns. So there we go. So now it's a little more pronounced. It's more of a rustic autumn look to it, I think. It does look like antique wallpaper, Christy. I agree. But there you go. So that's got a little more color to it. I might add a little bit more here. There we go. I definitely need to ink up that ink pad. Okay, put that to the side because I'm going to need it one more time. So that is ready to go. I'm going to grab a piece of, where'd it go? Ribbon. This is copper clay textured ribbon. It's in the annual catalog. This is a 6-inch piece. I'm going to grab my tear and tape. I want to make sure I get it long enough that it's wider than the ribbon. I think that's pretty good. Do another one about the same size. And it's going to go here. I want to have a little bit of the crumb cake to show on the left side. That looks pretty good where I've got it. So I'm going to wrap this around. And I'm going to attach the tear and tape to the ribbon, and I'm putting it close to the edge of the cardstock. That's going to help with putting it on the card later. Get this straight. That looks pretty good. Bring this around. Hold on to the end. And then put the ribbon up here. The tear and tape up here. Okay, I'm going to rub this down because I want that tear and tape to really attach good. You don't want any air pockets in it. That's going to make it easier when I go to take that paper backing off. Grab my seal. Get this going again. There we go. Make sure I get it in the corners. With this being embossed as much as it is, I probably put a little bit more adhesive along these edges because sometimes it kind of ripples a little bit. This will keep it flatter on the card base. I'm going to get my take your pick tool. I'm going to go in between the end of the tear and tape and the ribbon to pull off the paper backing. It's a little easier to do it from down here. Sometimes when you start on an end, you start lifting up the adhesive with the paper backing. So you get a little more luck, I think, if you go in between the ribbon and the end. If you get too close to the ribbon, you'll start lifting up the adhesive with the paper backing too. And I'm going to put this on. I want the ribbon to go up and down on the left side. So that 4x4 piece fits perfectly right there. Okay. There is one more thing I need to stamp. Almost forgot. This is a piece of Very Vanilla. It is 3x3 3/4. Grab my stuff here again. Oh yeah, I was going to use, there's one other greeting. I think it says for you, or no, for a friend. Oh, hello friend. I was going to use that, and I really needed a longer greeting. So I'm going to bring out the wishing you many blessings again. I need to clean it because it had Cajun craze on it. Okay. And grab my crumb cake. And I'm going to stamp this near the middle, but kind of over to the right just a little bit more, I think. Let me look at this. Nope, actually, you do want to go right in the middle. As close to the middle as you can. It's okay if it's not exactly in the middle. But there's that with my crumb cake. So I can't remember, it's 3 3/4. 3 inches and 3/4 inch. It's hard to say those together. Oh, good, Betty. I'm glad you're hearing it. This is crazy. My comments have stopped. I'm still seeing your comments. Last one I have is mine saying love Cajun craze also. Well, some of them that I am responding to are on YouTube because I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. So that's why you're not seeing theirs. So if I'm talking to some people, they're probably on YouTube. So I think that's probably what's going on. So everything is working fine. Oh, thanks, Jenny. The nice tip with the tear and tape. Thanks. It works so much better for me that way. I struggled with it sometimes. And then when I figured that out, I thought, oh, that works so much better. Okay, so this is a 3 by 3/4 inch. This is a 3 1/4 by 1 inch piece. Turn this over and put some adhesive on here. I'm going to put this right in the center of this one. There we go. I am definitely done stamping here, so put that to the side. I'm going to put adhesive on the left side. I'm not going to go all the way to the end. Okay, so this part does not have any adhesive. See if there, yeah, you can see that. There we go. And then I'm going to put this right here, making sure the end without the adhesive is what's hanging over, or hanging off, actually. I think that's about where I want it. Okay, now I'm going to grab the die cuts here. This one I put on with dimensionals. So let me find those. Put one here near the bottom. I think that's where I want it. Let me look at my, actually, we'll just put one here. I'm not going to take the paper backings off yet. I found this out when I was doing mine. I'm going to put one on each acorn. They just fit. If you're worried about it showing, you can snip off some of the border here. I'm going to lay this down the way I want it, but I don't want to attach it yet. So I'm going to take these little guys and let me bring in my silicone mat again. Oops, I had some glue on it and I put, oh no. I hope that I can get that off of my, I'll get that fixed. Don't worry. I didn't realize I put it on top of my other card. I'm going to put some adhesive here. I could use glue, but I think I'm going to be just fine. Just putting a little bit of glue in the center and down here at the bottom. So I want to hold this in place. And this is going to go in between those leaves. Like so. That looks pretty good. So I'll put that down. Put some adhesive on here. Get this back in place again because it moved on me. I'm making sure that I'm seeing my whole greeting here. And this one can go under here. That looks pretty good. So we've got those right there. Now I can take the paper backings off of here because I knew the dimensionals were going to be in the way. That's why I didn't want to attach it yet. Oops, now they're sticking to my fingers. There we go. So I want to make sure I get this one in the middle here. Just kind of line it up to where it looks good. Making sure I don't cover up my blessings. There we go. So that's on there. I'm going to grab my little acorn if I can find it. Oh, there it is. And this one, you could pop it up with dimensionals if you want to. I'm only going to put adhesive down here where I've got it colored in with the ivory Stampin' Blend. And then kind of angle it like this. So the top is kind of hanging off. That's why I don't want any glue on there. I just want it on this bottom section of the acorn. So I'll get that close up. So there is the front. I know, but wait, it's going to look even better here in just a minute. Oh, hi, Michelle. Just joining. Good. I'm glad you're loving what you see so far. This is the last card, so you might want to watch the live if you want to see the other two cards. I'll actually show you the cards at the end of the video, but you can always watch the replay later. Now we've got to get the inside to make this look even better. This is a piece of Very Vanilla that's 5 1/4 by 4. I knew there was something stuck on my finger. And this is a piece. So I was telling you how the All About Autumn DSP has leaves and trees on one side and then the foil look on the other side. I forgot. There are books. Isn't that cool? I love the books in this paper. So this is what I did. This is a 1 1/2 by 4 inch. Let me make sure I said that right. Yep, 1 1/2 by 4. And I'm going to put this right here on the very right end of my Very Vanilla piece. If you would rather, here, let me show you this before I put it together. If you don't like the books, that other side is actually, I didn't even realize that. That's the copper clay design on the back side. So if you like the foil better, you could do it here and it can look like that. Let me get that a little closer. So actually that looks good too. So if you like that look, you can do that, but I'm going to do the book side. So let's get some adhesive on here. And so if you get the card kits, you're going to have enough to make 2 cards. So you can do one way and one the other way. If you're like, oh, I like both sides, because I actually like both sides, then you can make one of each. So this is going to go all the way on the left side. So I'm lining up right along the edge of that Very Vanilla piece. And this is going to go on the inside of the card. So there's still plenty of room to write a greeting right over here. Make sure that DSP is on the right. You just center this like you normally would a card, a regular card. And there we go. And the books are showing on the outside. But see, does not make it look even better. I love this. Love the books for my bookworms. Oh, yes. A lot of us out there, aren't there? I haven't gotten to sit down and really read for a long time. read a book. I read the Bible, but I've got a book I want to start reading. Well, actually I did start. I just haven't been able to start reading it again. I've got a good friend at my church that wrote a book, and now I can't remember the name. Broken Chains, I think is the name of it. Her name's Cynthia Terrell. If you want to look that up, I think it's on Amazon. But it's a really good book. What I've read so far, I need to get back to reading it because I really do like to read. Oh, thanks, Becky. I'm glad you're liking it. Thanks, Anne. Okay, let me bring in all of the cards. Like I said, oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot the bling again. I don't know why. I always forget that. Oh, there we go. This time I'm going to go with the copper clay ones. And I'm going to do 2 each size. So they're large and small. So I'm going to grab a large one here. And I'm going to put that in the bottom corner of the greeting. Then I'm going to grab a small one. And I'm going to put it just about here. I'm going to grab another big one. And I'm going to put it right there, probably in the little, kind of the middle of those 2 acorns there. Then grab another small one and put this at a little bit of an angle right next to it. So there, now it's done. So there's the last card. So let me bring them all back in. Without technical difficulties, this didn't take quite as long as usual. It's so much nicer when there aren't technical difficulties. Oh, thanks, Becky. Glad you like it. Thanks, Jenny and Wendy. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these. Oh, Wendy, I'm glad the video's working for you again. I think you were the one that's having some problems. I'm glad it got to working again. Okay, thanks, Becky. So there are all the cards. These 2 definitely look like fall cards. They've got the fall colors with it. Let's see, a little bling is always a good idea. I totally agree with you, Michelle. Thanks, Betty. I'm glad you like them. But this one is definitely, Moody Mauve is fine with fall, but it's not the color you normally think of. So you can definitely, I love that there's Moody Mauve in that All About Autumn's paper. That way you can kind of mix it up a little bit. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Anne. Good. I'm glad you guys are liking the cards so much. That means a lot. I whipped these out really fast today, so I'm really glad they turned out. Between the dog that I was dog sitting, starting to choke, thankfully he's fine. Scared me to death, that little dog. He's a little bitty dog. He's really sweet, really cute. I'm like, Mom and Dad are coming back home to get you. Don't start choking now. But he's doing fine. When they got here and got in, he was doing great. Ate his supper, so he's all fine. But boy, that scared me, and that made it so where I couldn't make the cards like I wanted to. So I'm really glad I got everything done. I was a little nervous. Oh, thanks, Marlene. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay, I think I will go here just for a minute, and I'll come back to the cards real quick. But I really appreciate you guys coming. I'm seeing a bunch of loves and likes on Facebook. Thanks, guys. I went ahead and turned my tablet on because sometimes I don't get to see those. They don't show up here on the software I use. So I got to see those. Thank you so much. Those are fun to see flying in the air. So I'm making sure I see everybody's. I think I said, yeah, thanks, Cheryl and Marlene. I think I already told you that. Sometimes I look away and I forget who I said that to. So thanks again for watching. I'll be back again next week. Yes, there's 1 week in October. I think it's the 19th that I'm not going to be able to go live. I'm going to try to get a recorded live for that Thursday. There's a Covered Bridge Festival that happens every fall that I go with my daughter. Well, I'd love to go with both my daughters. The one daughter can't get off. So my oldest daughter and my mom and dad and I go. So that's the only day that we can make it work. So I will try to at least get a recorded video that time, but that's still a few Thursdays away. So I'll be back again next Thursday. Oh, thanks, Carmel. I'm glad you liked the cards. And Melissa, thank you so much. Okay, so I will show you the cards one more time. Oh, and I do want to show you, make sure for those of you that came in late and you commented, you will get put in the drawing for the iridescent pearl basic jewels. I love the iridescent looks. They're just not regular pearls, and they're in 2 different sizes. So everybody that commented during the live, oh, hi, thanks, Jeanne and Michelle. Oh, yeah, Christy, you know about the Covered Bridge Festival, don't you? You're local, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. We always go to Bridgeton. Love going. We used to go to Mansfield, but we don't like it as much. It's gotten too, more of a flea market type thing. We love going for the craft type stuff. So we like Bridgeton a lot. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. You love the Covered Bridge Festival too? Yep. There are people come from all over. I'm not sure where you live, Cheryl, but I know we see big buses there, big tour buses. So I know there are a lot of big groups that come to it every year. It's really fun. So everybody that's commenting here. Oh, I love the bling too, Michelle. I love these pearls. I use these a lot. So everybody, like I said, is commented live here. By the end of the video, I'll get you all in the that prize wheel, and then I will come back in about half an hour, 45 minutes with a post on Facebook and a post in my communities tab on my YouTube channel, letting you know who won. I can't do it during the video. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how I can do it during the video because that would make it so much easier. But in the meantime, I'll just get everybody's names in that wheel, and then I'll come back and let you know the winner. I'll also put it in the comments of both videos to make it a little easier to find. YouTube, it'll be in the comments below the video because the chat, I won't be able to put anything in the live chat anymore. And then I'll just put in the comment below the video on Facebook. Now, if you're watching the live and the recording and comment, so those of you that are watching the recording or the replay, make sure if you want to get put in the drawing for these are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And if you want to get these, comment, and then I'll put you in that prize wheel also. And I'll announce the winner at the beginning of next week's live, during the live. So I'll have to watch the replay to see the cards. Oh, yes, you will, Michelle. I hope you liked them. And make sure I'm seeing everybody's comments. Yes, aren't they pretty? I like these a lot. They've got some sparkle to them too. They've got some little tinsel inside them that make them really neat. Okay, so I will see you next week. Oh, I just remembered last week I tried my best to do my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. That's every Friday. I think that was when I started. I didn't realize I was getting sick, but I was kind of worn out that day. I couldn't do anything. About the next day or two is when I started having the bad stomach. Well, it started a little more Saturday. So yeah, I think I was just starting to get sick. So I didn't get that video up. So I should have one up tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be, so I'm a week behind, but we'll still get done in plenty of time. Like the Halloween ones will get done plenty of time before Halloween. And then I'll do the rest of the 6 weeks with the fall projects. So, bye, Betty. See you guys later. Yeah, everybody have a great week. You too, Michelle. And hopefully we're starting to have summer weather again. I'm ready for fall, especially when I'm making these fall cards. So hopefully the weather's good in your area. We're starting to have a drought too. So I hope we get some rain here pretty soon. So have a great night, guys. See you next week. Bye.